Marcus, and today I am going to be doing a O-level survival guide kind of series. So welcome to the first part of it. So for today, I'm going to be talking about what have I got here? By the way, if you're wondering why I keep on looking down, it's because I have my phone with all of the stuff I've written here, so I don't mess up or miss out anything. So I guess for the first thing I want to talk about is subject combination. I guess you would already tell by the title. Okay, so for subject combination, it really depends how many subjects you take, because some schools allow you to take 6 subjects, 7 subjects, or 8, or even more. So just because you're good at, and when it comes to choosing a subject, just because you're good at it in Sec 1 or 2, doesn't mean you'll ace it at Upper Sec. You have to know that in Upper Sec, all the subjects are more demanding. Science gets way more demanding, and humanities involves a lot of essay writing, and you have a lot of things to memorize when it comes to humanities. And also, when you want to choose your subjects, you have to know what you want to be when you grow up, because you have to know what you're working towards so that you know which subjects your poly course or JC subjects may require you to take. And so you have to ask yourself, especially when it comes to JC, are you aiming for the science or art stream? Because when it comes to the arts and science stream, you have to take certain subjects in order to get the subjects. Okay, let me clarify. For example, you want to take chemistry in JC, but to take chemistry, you have to be able to get a pass for pure chemistry or at least a B3 for combined science. It works like that. And if you want to take history in JC, you have to at least get a minimum A2 in English or pure literature. Now, you have to take the subjects that you really like. For example, if you really like literature, you really need to have the passion for it. Because if you want to take pure literature, you'll be doing 2 texts instead of 1 that you're used to. And when it comes to pure literature, you'll technically be writing 3 essays in 1 hour and a half minutes. Depends on which paper you're talking about. And there'll also be something called the unseen. So you really have to you should ask your teachers before you sign up for anything. Because once you sign up and get your subject combination, it's too late. And you can't back out of it. And when you want to take pure science, this is a question that a lot of people wonder about pure science. Should I take pure science? Should I take combined science? Now listen closely. Just because you take combined science, that doesn't mean that you're dumb. I don't know why people think that if you take combined science, you're at a disadvantage. You are at a disadvantage to a certain extent, which I'll clarify in just a bit. Because if you want to take pure science, it really depends on if you're aiming to go to a science stream in JC. Because what's the point of taking pure science, which is 2 whole subjects, and you have to put a lot of effort for 2 subjects, if you're not going to be doing anything science related in the future? If, for example, if you want to be a lawyer or if you're an engineer, you definitely have to take at least physics, I think. But if you want to be a lawyer or a psychologist, you should consider taking combined science. But once again, if you really want to take pure science, it's up to you. But know that pure science is really demanding. And if you can't cope, don't be afraid to drop. Because it's no use trying to put in so much effort, and at the end of the day, you're going to get like a D7, and that will contribute a lot to your L1, R5. And if you want to take A-Mats, it means a lot of practice. A-Mats and E-Mats is really different. But A-Mats is pretty structured because there is a fixed form of answering certain questions, and there are techniques and those kind of things. So if you want to take A-Mats, you really have to devote yourself to practicing, buying lots of papers and doing practice books and worksheets and whatever, just so that you can pass the class. And once again, if you want to go to a poly course or you want to take like a JC art stream that doesn't require you to take additional mathematics, then don't. Because there are some people who are not really good at math. If you're already suffering with E-Mats and you can't take E-Mats, I don't think you'll survive A-Mats at all. So you really have to consider your options. Okay, I'm sorry, my arm is in pain. Okay. Alright. So it's no point wasting your time on a subject if you're not gonna put in any effort. It's either you give it your all or don't do it in the same place. Okay, now I'm gonna talk about if you take A Maths or if you take pure science, are you at a disadvantage? The answer is yes, to a certain extent. Once again, if you want to go to JC, it really depends on your L1 R5, which is Language 1 Relevant 5. I think if you're watching this video worrying about O levels, you should already know what that means. So there isn't any special thing given to AMAT students, but there is something called a ranking system in terms of the number of A's when you go to JC. And this is like when they really have a lot of students and they have to resort to the last measure. Okay, for example, you take combined science and you don't have AMATs, but you've got, per se, you only take 6 subjects and you got A1s for everything. Good for you, you got A1s for everything, right? Your L1 R5 is 6. But then the other person also has an L1 R5 of 6. But the thing is, this person has, let's say, 8 subjects, and he or she may have gotten an A2 in those 2 subjects. The thing is, he or she has a higher rank because he has a more number of A's. So in terms of that, that person will get into the JC and you might not get a place because of that ranking system. But all in all, it really depends on your L1 R5. Just do well for your 6 subjects, because taking on extra subjects really means a lot of practice, and not to mention you have to balance your CCA and memorizing your humanities subjects, because I know social studies is compulsory and I hear your cries. And there are also certain subject requirements in JC, like I explained. I'm only basing this on like some of the things that I've read, but like if you want to take H2 mathematics in JC, you need to have AMATs. So once again, in terms of subject combination, really think about what you want to be when you grow up. Work towards it. What are the subjects what the job you want requires you to take? And work towards your goal. And ultimately, you really have to know what you want. Okay, so that's it for this part. I hope that I helped you in any way. So all the best studying. Bye!